So wait, I have a question.
I might have an answer.
No. Question. So in A Bug's Life, we always talk about like the big whole thing is like, oh, who ordered the poo-poo platter? And then all the flies were on it, and like it was actual poop. Like, was the poo-poo platter like at Disney created out of that, or was the poo-poo platter like an actual Hawaiian dish before the Bug's Life did a play on that?
I thought the poo-poo platter was an actual thing.
I think you're right. I think the Bug's Life did a play on the poo-poo platter, like actual poo there, instead of the other way around. Instead of them saying, hey, out of poop, let's just make a Hawaiian delicacy out of this. And welcome to our Main Street Game Plan show.
I'm still Kaitlyn.
And I'm Jeff.
Oh, you're not still Jeff this week?
Well, you said you were still Kaitlyn.
Okay.
So I decided to flip it up a little.
And we're excited to bring you episode 5 of the Main Street Game Plan show. Our topic this week is how we became annual pass holders from out of state. It was a long time coming. I guess we'll back up a little bit with our how we got into Disney and running the numbers with how much we like to go, that it actually made sense.
And you're talking about annual pass holder stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
So over this, I would say this entire year, we've just been running numbers because we thought one day maybe we'd like to be DVC owners. And just running the numbers of that, we realized how expensive it was to be a DVC member. Even if you bought it resale, this is like multiple tens of thousands of dollars just to buy like a small contract.
I guess let's start in the annual pass holder conversation. Let's start with how you came to the realization of, oh my gosh, this could work. Because obviously you came to that realization because you came to me asking, hey, what if we did this? So go into the process of how that even came to be. Like, what was the processes? Like, did you just see a random thing? Did you say this is expensive and then you looked into it? Like, what is the process detail of, like, give us what you went through?
Yeah. So my first process was looking in and running the numbers for DVC. And we realized that was probably not a feasible goal for us, at least for the short term. When you're looking at a small contract, so 100, we would probably need 150 points as a small contract. That's still probably going to be like $30,000. And that wasn't something that really was feasible for us. So then I looked into annual passes, and I've heard people say the annual pass pays for itself if you go, it's around 9 to 10 park days in 1 year. So I started running the numbers with the trips that we had planned, which we'll talk about that later with now what we have planned for the remainder of 2025 and into 2026. We had planned to go to 10 park days. So if you factor in the cost of the tickets that we were going to have to pay to go to the park 10 times over the span of a couple of trips, it would make sense to buy an annual pass, because at that point, being an annual pass holder, then you could go to the parks more because you don't have to buy, additional park tickets. Typically when we would go on a trip, we were kind of limited with, these 2 days are our park days, and we're not park hopper people, so we would totally focus on that park. And then we would have a rest day or a day out of the parks, and you could not go to the parks that day. But now as APs, we have the flexibility. If we wanted to just go for a couple hours one evening, we now can.
So you're saying you looked into it and said, we can't do DVC, and then you looked into annual pass holder and said, hey, with the money that we've been spending per year on Disney, we actually could make this work.
Yeah, I felt like it was a lot more justified because we were already going to the parks 10 times. So, for example, we're planning a trip next August, like a longer, maybe like a 9-10 day trip to Florida, where we were planning on doing 4 full park days and also the Keys to the Kingdom VIP tour, which we would have also had to buy park admission. So that's 5 park days for 2 people, and that was pretty expensive for the amount of tickets that we were needing to buy. So that's just, one prime example of just one trip. So the cost of the annual pass, because we're out of state residents, we do not live in Florida, it was around, I want to say about $1,500 per person, which we can digest that a little bit. That there is sticker shock with that, because you're like, wow, that is a huge investment. And we definitely wanted to make sure that if we're gonna put down this significant amount of money, that it's worth it. So I guess let me hear your side of it when I initially brought it to you.
This is actually a good segue, because this is basically where I come in. So she came to me, well, I don't even remember what day it was, but she came to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, I think we should be annual pass holders. And I looked at her like she was literally insane. Because, like, you think, oh my gosh, like, those are expensive. And then she told me even more. She was like, yeah, they're like $1,500. And I was like, okay, awesome. That's $3,000. Like, why would we do that? That is the stupidest thing. Because, like, when you're out of state, the first thing you think of is, there's no way we could be annual pass holders and go every day, because we don't even live outside of the state, especially where we're from. So that I just immediately ruled that out. Like, that is not even worth it. And then she gave me this is how much you're spending. I'm like, okay, now it's really not worth it. But here is where you have to see it to believe it. So the price of a ticket, if you haven't looked, is pretty expensive. Mm-hmm. For even Animal Kingdom, it's still $134, I think, in Animal Kingdom per person, and then it goes up to like $171, $179 for Magic Kingdom. Here's the thing: if you go like you said, around 10 times a year, you're gonna somehow break even.
Yeah.
On that trip. And you have to run the math to do it. Like, don't just say, oh yeah, we're not going to be able to do this, or oh, we're going to be able to do this. Just run the math, and seeing is believing, because it ended up working out for us. Like, if you break even or more, it's worth it because of the discounts you get, whether you're getting food. I think it's like 10% on food, and then there's 40% on certain locations. And then for merch, I think is it 20% off merch? It might vary.
Yeah, it might vary. I think it does vary based on just what promotions they offer.
I think hotels also the same way. Like, there's discounts. So, like, even if you break even for the whole year on park days, you're still saving a lot of money everywhere else, because there's discounts galore, and you're going to save hundreds of dollars.
Now, another point Jeff had when I came to him with this idea of becoming annual pass holders, he was making the point, he said, I don't want to just break even though. I want to actually get the most bang for our buck with this pass. So we've thought about, with our trips that we have upcoming, can we go to the park more? And that's kind of what I think I mentioned it earlier in the video. So now the first trip we're using to activate our passes is in October. And originally, we were only planning to do 2 park days before the pass. And for the second half of our stay, we weren't even going to go in a park. We were just going to hang around our resort. But now that we have annual passes, I believe we're going to 3 out of 4 of the parks. And I believe we're going to 1 park twice.
I believe so. I think it's Epcot, right?
Yes. So now, because that all we have to do is go in and make a reservation to get into a park, we are more inclined to maybe go do an evening at a park, or and an additional day at a park. For us, it kind of eliminates a rest day. And I think, we're still going to do a rest day and not do like a full park day, but it might just be like a couple hours at a park where we go have a dinner and maybe walk around a little bit. So it would still be restful, at least in our standards of what our rest day is. But then also, like you said, the discounts, I think that also really convinced you that it would be worth it.
So here is where the math breaks down, and this is where you decide whether it's okay for you. And bear with me here. This is going to be unorthodox, but I'm going to tell you where I'm coming from. When I say, like, you can go 10 times and you can break even, that does not mean have a nice week-long trip and then just go 7 days in a row and be like, okay, that means we're almost at our 10 times, and that means we can buy annual passes for one trip a year.
Yeah.
That does not mean that.
Yeah.
Because now, like, even though you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for that one trip, you're not breaking even, because that's not what you would have done. And now you're paying $3,000 for 1 week out of the trip. You're just going extra, but you're not really getting more bang for your buck. And like I said, I know that sounds confusing, but just because you decide to go to the park every single day for 6 days in a row does not mean you should get an annual pass. At that point, just buy 6 park days and then buy a park hopper for each of those days.
Yeah.
If you're only going one trip, that was my whole thing about breaking even. It's not, you want to base it off of how many days you would go to a park normally. If for one trip, you go to a park, maybe, let's say on a week-long trip, you go to 4 park days. To me, I only include that 4 times to a park. So that's 4 times. So if you go to another trip, let's say you take 2 weeks, and you have another 4-day park day, that's 8. You would normally go 4, you would go 4 again on another week, you're up to 8. To me, it's still not worth it to get an annual pass. So to me, you need to go to Disney at least 3 times out of the year, 3 separate trips out of the year, if you live out of state, 3 separate trips out of the year for it to be worth it. So you go once, you go twice, you go 3 times, then you're breaking even, because then you normally would have gone around 10 or so times. That's when you're like, okay, I've got the base down, and then all the rest is gravy, and that's where you're saving money. Like I said, if you're going once a year, even twice a year for smaller trips, do not get the annual passes. Just buy your park days and then get Park Hopper.
Yeah, because when we first started going to Disney, we went maybe 1 or 2 times a year. And at that point, it wouldn't have been worth it for us to put down all that money for an annual pass. But now our goal has been to go quarterly, with 2 long trips and 2 shorter trips. So I guess we could start with our upcoming plan for the year. I'll start with this first. The way that the annual pass works is we bought it at the end of June, but we won't be activating it until our next trip in October. So when we renew next year, we will renew in October. So the way that we structured it to get the most use out of it, our trips are scheduled October to October. So with our first trip, we're going about a week.
I think it's a week.
It's about a week in October. And I think we talked about this earlier. Originally, we were only going to do 2 park days. And now it's turned into at least 4. If not more, if we just decide on a whim we want to.
And like I said, with that math, now we're going for a week for that full one. We were only going to do 2 park days. Keep that as... Did we... Before I tell the people, were we planning on going a full week beforehand? I don't think we were. I think we were only going 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only counting that for like 3 actual park days for that trip. Even though we're gonna go probably a lot more, probably gonna go 5, 6, 7, maybe the full amount of days. But I'm only counting that as 3 days because we normally would have gone 3 days.
Yeah.
3 park days for the annual pass holders.
Yeah.
Like I said, big difference between going 9 times because you feel like you have to get your money's worth, and then how many days you were actually going to go normally, and that's what you should count towards whether you should be annual pass holders or not.
Yeah.
But that leads into the second one, which was our December trip.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go with other friends, and that trip we were going to go, I believe, 2 park days normally.
No, we were only going to do 1.
You're going to do 1. So we were at 3. Now you're only at 4.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to go extra. I think Kaitlyn's going to do some stuff there. I'm going to get some extra lunch.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be working from the hotel all day Friday and all day on Monday, just because my job has that flexibility, and that way I don't have to take 2 days of vacation time.
Which, if anyone in the comments who sees this has any recommendations on the best place to work from Disney, that's basically not necessarily out of the public eye, but like not bothering the public, like just to work normally.
Yeah.
Whether it's like the Coronado Springs Convention Center, or like maybe it's in a park but it's secluded, or maybe it's like in an area where you're not bothering the public super a whole lot. Just something where you can get your work done, but like you're not in the way of everyone.
Yeah, my original plan was to go work at Coronado, just because I know it's a little bit more quiet in the convention area. I want to go a place where I'm not bothering anyone else and no one else is bothering me. So if you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments, and we'll let you know what we end up doing.
So the next trip, so we are at, let's see, 3, 4. We are at 4 Jeff Park days. 4 Jeff Park days so far on our trips.
Okay.
Those equal days of a theme park that we would have taken.
Okay.
Okay. So now we are in April. This is going to be our next trip.
And a side note, we decided to do 2 trips in the 4th quarter, and we did not do a trip in the 1st quarter of 2026, just because we were doing the 2 in the 4th quarter of 2025. So the next trip would be in quarter 2. For all you corporate gals and guys out there.
Got lingo. So the next trip is in April, and I believe we were gonna take, how many days were we gonna take? How many park days were we gonna take for that? Was it 2 or 3?
That one we're going with our friend and neighbor Vanessa, and so we're kind of limited because she is not an annual pass holder, and so we're kind of going with our schedule. I think we're only doing 2 Disney park days because we're also going to go to Epic Universe.
So you're at 6 would-be park days.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's still not worth it to get an annual pass.
Yeah.
But we didn't stop there, and that's why we're going in August of 2026.
Yes, and like we talked about, we're planning 4 full park days, plus you have to buy theme park admission for the Keys to the Kingdom tour. So that's 5 park tickets.
So we were going to that separate day. We were planning 4 park days plus, and the extra day was another park ticket anyway.
Right.
And we were going to plan on doing that. We were planning on shelling out the money for that anyway.
Yep.
So we were going to take 5 park days for that.
Yep.
So it was going to be like 5 park days, 4 rest days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're scoring at home, that's 11 days.
Yep.
So we were going, normally, if we didn't have annual passes, we would have gone around 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
Which means for us, it's worth it to take an annual pass.
Yep.
Because 10 is the magic number.
Yep.
If you were planning on taking 10 park days without annual passes, then it would have been worth it.
Yeah.
So it was worth it for us to, in fact, not only break even, we got an extra little bonus in there because we were going to go 11.
Yeah. And we have actually started talking about today maybe going back next October of 2026.
Which it would make sense.
It would, because
to go before
the annual pass expires.
So when would the annual pass expire? So the first day of the annual pass is October 16th. Does that mean we need to go before October 16th of next year?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah.
But if you ever have any questions, once again, put in the comments. We'll reply back on whether it's worth it for you guys to go. If you live in like Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, I would say maybe if I said Alabama, I don't know if I said that already, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
those are probably closer. Obviously, they're closer drives than us.
Yeah.
But if you live in that area, I would say the whole 10 park day trip, I don't know. I guess it still applies if you were going to go 10 park days, but obviously it's a lot easier to go down there than it is up here. Like the 10-day rule applies a lot more if you have to fly down.
Yeah.
Versus if like you're within like a 3-hour driving distance. I mean, yeah, you could still say like, okay, are we going to go 10 days out of the year? But for you guys, I feel like it's easier to just say, hey, do you think we could go 10 park days throughout the year? And if so, then yeah, it's worth it. Like, you don't have to plan as vigorously as we do because we have to fly and spend a whole lot more time planning than just, hey, on a whim on a Sunday, let's go drive 2.5 hours and get there.
Yeah. I really wish Disney offered the other tiers of the annual passes, the ones that are only available for Florida residents. And those have blackout dates. I honestly wouldn't mind having, paying a lesser price, but having a blackout period where we couldn't go to the parks. That it wouldn't affect me at all. And also, allowing payment plans, the fact that we had to pay like $3,000 up front at once, that's hard. I'm sure that's hard for a lot of people. The way that we do it is we have like a separate fund for all of our Disney expenses, and so we were kind of saving and had the funds available. But I know that's a lot of money to expect, people to put down all at once, and I wish that they did offer a payment plan, kind of like they do for the vacation packages, where you just have to put like $200 down.
The thing is, you were talking about paying less for the blackout dates. You and I don't really have a like specific time period we have to go. Mm-hmm. Like we go for our anniversary and we go for like holidays and stuff like that. Like we're going to our first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and we're going to Jollywood Nights. Yes. But like these aren't like, oh my gosh, we have to go. Like if they said here, you can go, like here's a $1,500 total package, but you can't go holidays, I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't either.
We would probably just line up our trips closer together and away from the holidays. And we'd still get more bang for our buck.
Yeah.
Like, I really do not have a problem with when we go. Like, we could go in the middle of January or the middle of May for all I cared.
Yeah. Now, I will say, now that we are annual pass holders, one thing I did not expect us to be able to do, but now we can because we're APs. We were planning to go to a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party this year. What we did not plan on doing was a Jollywood Nights party. And I felt like with our annual pass, we were able to justify that a little bit more. Because, and I understand, we paid a lot of money up front to have all of our park tickets, but we now have also some more flexibility. Like if we wanted to add on a park, an extra event, we can, as long as we budget it within our, in our money.
Well, here's the thing: if like for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, if you want to go to Magic Kingdom that day, if you say I am full go dead set on Magic Kingdom during a party day, and you want to go to the party as well, you're paying 2 park tickets per person. You are paying whatever, $179. It might be a little less because it's not a full day. Maybe not. It might be full. I have no idea. So $179 just till from what? 8 a.m. to
6.
To 6. And if you're not even staying on property, it's 9 a.m. to 6.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're paying the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party price, which is another like $170.
Yeah.
So you're paying like $350 per person if you wanted to go to Magic Kingdom for the full day party and all. Now, most people, if they don't have annual passes, they'll probably just pay for the party and they'll do something else throughout the day.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a full park day, you'd have to pay essentially 2 theme park tickets.
Yeah, and I will say, I think there are advantages to going to Magic Kingdom the day of a party, because a lot of people choose not to do that, to pay 2 park admissions. There's lower crowds. There's less wait times because we've done it before. When we did our one-day bender last year, we went on a day of a Halloween party, and we were able to do a lot more because a lot of people chose not to go to the park that day.
And that's something to look at, like if you decided to be annual pass holders. This is kind of down the line of data and information and looking into things, but like planning ahead and going, okay, there's a party, like we're gonna go during this week in October, and we don't want to do a party, but we want to do this park day. So you could just pop on over to Magic Kingdom and do that until 4 o'clock and get that, and then just pop over to another park, and you get the whole benefit of less people for the early part of the day, and then you go to another park for the later part of the day.
Yeah.
Or you don't even have to go to a park for the later part of the day. Just go for the earlier part, take the benefit of there being less people, and then go do whatever you want to do while the parties are going on outside of the parks.
Yeah. Another benefit that we've had now that we're APs, we were able to rebook our October trip and get a small discount on our rooms, and then we were also able to get a discount for our December trip. So that was great. I mean, we were, for the October trip, already planning on going. So the discount that we got by rebooking, we used it for the December trip, and then from that it was already at a discounted rate. So that was a win for us. I'm not sure if the discounts were available yet for our April trip. I'll have to check. I don't think they are. I think that's a little too far in advance.
One other thing that we just missed out on, but you guys can take full advantage of right now if you realize that, like, oh my gosh, we take 4 trips a year and we're not annual pass holders. We can do this right now. Is I believe you get a $100 gift card if you sign up to be an annual pass holder. I believe so, because that's what you inclined on.
Oh yes, that was a current promotion. I'm not sure if it's still going on.
That is, we are taping this as of September 1st, 2025. So that offer of getting a gift card is offer as of September 21st or September 1st of 2025. I don't know what it goes to. So if you see this video and you look it up and it's not available, then that's okay. But I know as of September of 2025, this is still a thing.
Yeah, and we had just missed out on it. We bought our pass like a week or two before they started doing the promotion. I did call about it, and they said that we did not qualify, so that kind of sucked. But
and they gave you grace too.
They did, but we were a little too far in advance.
I think we got they gave you a week grace period, but we were, I think, 2.5 weeks at that point. But I know it was something close to that. But it's a small thing. Like I said, if you're not sure about it, do not go just get the annual pass holder just for a $100 gift card. Yeah. If you really wanted to do something like that, just go and sit in on the DVC conversations for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then get your gift card that way. Do not do it this way.
Some other perks that I'm really excited for. I'm excited to buy annual pass holder merch. That's how they get you, and I've been got. But there's food and wine merch that I'm really excited to purchase. We have yet to get our first pass holder magnet. I know they had a crush magnet right now, but since we won't be there until October, we'll see if there's a magnet we can get. They also do pass holder previews. I forget what the next upcoming ride is.
It is the Zootopia ride.
That's right.
Or the show, the Zootopia show.
Yeah, I know it opens in November, so fingers crossed we might be able to do pass holder previews while we're there in October. That would be awesome if we could.
Now, we previously mentioned that there are select 40% off sit-down restaurant discounts. I think there might be some quick service, but I think it's like one quick service, if that. But there are select 40% off restaurant discounts. Do you have any discounts for the months of September or October off the top of your head?
I haven't looked recently. I don't know if it's out yet. I'll have to look and get back to you, but usually it changes. And we might, even if there's a restaurant on there that we're interested in that offers a pretty good discount, we may change up our plans that we've had, which we've already made our dining reservations for October, but we could change it up if we really wanted to.
But I think as far as annual pass holders go, that's pretty much all the information that you need off the top. Did you have any other lasting impacts, lasting thoughts you wanted to leave the viewers for annual pass holders?
Yeah, I personally never thought we would get to this point, but here we are. I think a lot of people look at us and they're like, you're really an annual pass holder and you live in West Virginia? And the answer is yes, because of how frequent we like to go. It made financial sense in a way that we're getting the most bang out of our, bang for our buck, by going to Disney as much as we can, and it's still in a price point that we're comfortable with. So I'm really excited for us for our next trip to be our first trip as pass holders, and we'll let you know obviously how it goes, and if anything cool or unusual happens that we normally don't get because we weren't annual pass holders before, we'll definitely share with you guys.
My lasting impression is, once again, seeing is believing. Do the math, write down the math, do it on a calculator or a phone, do the math and figure out how many times you would have gone in a park day, and look at the financials, see if you break even. Like I said, I didn't believe it at all until we did the math on paper. So do the math on paper. You actually might be surprised what you see.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it for this video. Once again, like and subscribe if you like what you see here. Comment if you want to see anything more. I know we've gotten a few ideas from others that we will eventually get here on the video for you. But
we're hoping to have some special guests an upcoming episode, so stay tuned for that. We're excited to introduce you guys to some people that we've traveled with to Disney and hear their perspectives as people who don't go as frequently as us, and kind of what their thoughts about Disney were.
You shone a little Disney spotlight on the guests.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys so much for your support and for watching our content. It really we're really appreciative of that. We do this because we love Disney and we love to talk about Disney, so your support means a lot to us.
Thank you so much, guys.
And we'll see you real soon.
Mir, sponsor us!